playing What Killed Our President and British Monarchs Died song.
George Washington 'twas epiglottitis from which he died. A swelling closed his airway, couldn't breathe although he tried. John Adams of heart failure, he was 90 when death came. Tom Jefferson likely that prostate cancer was to blame. James Madison, it was his heart that stopped at 85. James Monroe tuberculosis, he could not survive. John Quincy Adams from a stroke, Jackson TB and his heart. Van Buren's heart stopped, though severe asthma played a large part. William Henry Harrison, typhoid fever is why. John Tyler's diagnosis was a stroke that made him die. James Polk's death came at 53, cholera was the cause. Zachary Taylor, gastroenteritis was what it was. Millard Fillmore had a stroke, never recovering. Franklin Pierce, cirrhosis of the liver was the thing. James Buchanan, respiratory failure was the key. Abe Lincoln by an assassin's gunshot, R.I.P. It was a stroke that put Andrew Johnson into the ground. Ulysses Grant was throat cancer, no other reason found. Rutherford B. Hayes suffered from heart disease and none. James Garfield by a bullet from an assassin's gun. Chester Arthur had a stroke which put him in his grave. Grover Cleveland advanced heart disease could not be saved. Ben Harrison fell to pneumonia in his bedroom. William McKinley shot, but the infection spelled his doom. Teddy Roosevelt died from a blood clot in his lung. William Taft from heart disease, the angels he's among. Woodrow Wilson was a severe stroke which took his life. Orrin Harding, heart attack while listening to his wife. Calvin Coolidge, fatal heart attack was what he had. Massive internal bleeding's what took Hoover very sad. FDR's life ended by a stroke at 63. Harry Truman's massive organ failure set him free. Eisenhower, a heart attack was the cause. John Kennedy assassinated Dallas where he was. Lyndon Johnson done in by a heart attack, I hear. Richard Nixon by a stroke his 81st year. Gerald Ford suffered a massive stroke, didn't you know? Ronald Reagan pneumonia was the final blow. The illness that took George H. was Parkinson's disease. This is how the presidents died throughout our history. William the Conqueror died from illness or injury. William Rufus from friendly fire intentionally. Henry the First passed from too many eels that he consumed. Stephen 'twas a stomach illness, died that was entombed. Silly shock was what ended the reign of Henry II. Richard from infection of a battle wound was through. John's run ended dysentery, said to be the cause. While Henry the Third illness took him, not sure what it was. Edward the First, his time ran out, dysentery's why. Edward II, a captive, likely murders how he died. A stroke was how Edward the Third would leave the world behind. Evil Richard II, a starved in prison, next in line. Was Henry the Fourth, skin disease brought his reign to a close. Henry the Fifth, he'd stroke likely for sure, no one knows. Henry the Sixth in the Tower of London was murdered. Edward the Fourth, he fell ill, then spoke his final word. Young Edward the Fifth was deposed and killed in the Tower. At the Battle of Bosworth Field, Richard the Third spent his last hour. Henry the Seventh from TB gone in 1509. While Henry the Eighth was Hervey that sealed his decline. Edward VI died from tuberculosis, very sad. Jane Grey lost her head, then Mary cancer's what she had. Elizabeth I passed from depression and they cried. James I a stroke, then dysentery's how he died. For high treason, Charles I was executed then. Oliver Cromwell, not a king, malaria his end. Of old age, Richard Cromwell died, leaving behind a stain. Purging and bloodletting took Charles II from his reign. James II brain hemorrhage, death came as no surprise. Mary II, 'twas smallpox that brought her demise. And pneumonia, William Scouse from a broken collarbone. And obesity, then a stroke, and off her soul had flown. George I from a stroke was why he would lie in state. An aortic dissection was George II's fate. George III pneumonia took his final breath. George IV gastrointestinal bleeding caused his death. William IV succumbed to a long illness is why. Then old age was Victoria's reason why she'd die. Edward VII passed from bronchitis late that night. George V bronchitis too was how he lost the fight. Edward VIII was throat cancer, smoked too many packs. George VI, the reason he died was a heart attack. Elizabeth II, from old age her life was done. This how the English and British monarchs ended their run.